House MD on the Nintendo DS is a weird one. If you've watched any of the TV show, you're probably thinking, why on earth is there a House DS game? And if you haven't watched any of the show, you should be thinking, why on earth is there a House DS game? The game is so obscure that not only does it not have a Metacritic rating, but when you Google House MD DS game, it comes up with the Corey in the House DS game. I don't know how many copies of this thing were made, but if the eBay listings price is anything to go off, I'd guess the figure would be somewhere in the ballpark of 1. So f it, let's just play the thing and find out if it's worth the total lack of hype.
Let's get this over with.
The game opens with a rather underwhelming cutscene of this guy, Henry Richter, the host of some TV show called Globetrotting. The only real thing of note about the cutscene is the frequent dipping to black. Just in case there was any chance of you being immersed in this cutscene, it keeps dipping to black to make it that bit more difficult to enjoy. Anyway, Henry collapses on set in a dramatic fashion. And we cut to him laying in a hospital bed accompanied by no other than House. Now we get our first bit of gameplay, which is absolutely pathetic. We have to find his symptoms, and the way we do this is by selecting a part of his body, selecting the appropriate tool, and holding down on the spot where the exclamation mark is. That's it. If you select the wrong piece of equipment, an X just shows up and you select a different one. I don't even know if this meets the bare minimum of what's considered gameplay. You just tap on a tool until it doesn't show an X and then hold down on the exclamation mark. Once we've done that, we learn that Henry was shooting his show in Malaysia. Then this guy pokes his camera through the blinds, leading us to the first of many wonderful pieces of Gregory House dialogue. Watch how I throw this reporter off your scent. Hey, who cares if Henry Richter's a gay Taliban supporting witchcraft endorsing meth addict? Not me.
Oh my God!
There's a gameplay mode where the team is trying to come up with a diagnosis and we have to flick the right word up into the top screen. Pretty childish, boring gameplay. Then there'll be some dialogue where they come to the conclusion that for one reason or another, it can't be that disease, so we do it again and again. We do this mode so many times. It's insane the number of false diagnosis guesses we have to first flick and then sit through dialogue about. Is this gameplay of flicking the words up entertaining for an adult? Of course it's not, unless you're like 6 years old. But then House will refer to Malaysia as a country that uses goats for currency. Yeah, see what I'm getting at here? What is the audience for this game? So in this one, we move the camera around on this little screen and stop on anything that appears. Once again, childish, lazy gameplay that only an infant can enjoy. But then, when talking to Henry's producer, House goes, "Does Henry work around any respiratory irritants like silicone? What I mean is, are your breasts real?"
Whoa.
What in the blithering is the cause behind this disconnect between the gameplay and the dialogue? It's like they were each handled by separate teams, and the team responsible for the gameplay was given the target demographic of children aged 4 to 7, while the writing team tried to replicate the crass sarcasm of the show without actually having the writing skills or nuance to be so witty. At one point, House just straight up calls Henry a word I don't want to get demonetized by YouTube for saying, but you can see it on the screen. This is closely followed by a game of Spot the Difference.
It's unbelievable, Jeff!
While we're trying to figure out what Henry's condition is, there's a subplot of an anorexic woman having regular appointments with House. This really only feels like it's in the game so House can say some more awesome dialogue such as, "It's my medical opinion that you need more of a butt." House decides to tell Henry he has a special type of Malaysian AIDS, prompting Henry to reveal that he's a lying fraud. He wasn't in Malaysia, he was filming in a studio near his home as he's getting too old to travel.
Delightful news for someone who cares.
This means whatever condition he has isn't some exotic foreign disease like we first thought, which to be honest is a real kick in the guts as I've just spent 45 minutes doing the most tedious mini games to try and diagnose an exotic foreign disease. We do some more of this diagnosis guessing stuff, some more of this, some more of that. This game is spending a long time to get to the answer of what's wrong with Henry, so it better be worth it. There's a game mode where we spin this wheel. Yep, that's a full game mode, just spinning a wheel. There's this one where we have to toggle on and off some pipes and spin some more wheels. There is a world where a puzzle like this is somewhat fun if there was actually some logic for us to figure out, but the game just tells us stuff like close these ones or open these ones, and then we just do what it says, so any potential fun there could have been is shot dead in the water. We grab some microbes and sort them into their correct dish. We scan around Henry's home and click on objects. There's now two big questions on my mind playing the game. What disease has Henry got? And will there be a single fun gameplay mode in this entire f***ing game?
I can't wait to die.
Anyway, the anorexic subplot concludes when we tell her she might be pregnant. She's shocked as she used protection last time she had sex, but then she drops this revelation. Back to the Henry Richter case. Surely we're near the end, and surely this ending won't be underwhelming. Now we have the worst game mode in the whole thing. We're given these 4 images and where they are on a map, and have to pin the relevant objects on the map based on where we can see them in the image. Problem is, the images are so low resolution that you can't make out where half the objects are. I ended up getting through this by just placing objects randomly everywhere on the map until they start. We do some more of this junk, some more of this junk, and then, now that we've gathered all of the scientific data, we reach the one somewhat fun game mode. We have to clear House's thoughts so he can put the pieces together and find the answer. We do this by playing a version of Breakout where the ball has to hit light bulbs in his brain. It is so frustrating that out of all of the game modes, this is the one that we don't have to replay. We have to do all these other game modes with the pipes or with the words again and again. But then the one mode that feels like gameplay, because it is just stealing Breakout's gameplay, we only get to do for a minute or two right at the end. Whatever, it's not like it's that fun, it just seems like it by comparison to the rest of the game. And now, finally, after 1 hour and 40 minutes, we get the answer. Henry was mowing the lawn in his yard, went over a rabbit with his lawnmower and inhaled the disease.
Seriously? Yeah.
Was that answer worth 100 minutes of my time?
No.
This game is not about the destination or the journey. The journey is the most childish, boring excuse for gameplay, and the destination is one that couldn't possibly warrant a reaction greater than, oh, okay, cool. You went over a rabbit with his lawnmower. Well, that was awesome. Here is your next case. Are you ready to begin?
I'm done! You hear me?